Hi, this is Instructor Hobbs for Project Management and Academic Advisor to the Moodle and CPT students. I'm going to go through the slides and Project Manage it for a quick 10-minute review. So, quickly, Project Management. This is Unit 1, and you will get an installment for each of these units. Unit 1, Definition, Temporary Effort, undertaken to create a unique new product or service. That is what project management is, a definition of it. A project is to be distinguished from ordinary operations. So this is not something that is done on a day-to-day basis already. Okay, it does not exist. It's brand new to the company. It's brand new, possibly to you, even for that matters. As a matter of fact, if you think of your education, this may be getting an MBA for some of you may be brand new to you. Okay, examples of projects. This could be moving into a new location, a new product or service, organizing a campaign, politics, or building a new office, any of those things. But in most of your cases, you're working in an organization right now, and many of you who are on Moodle and CPT are probably working on projects because you're business analysts. So I'd ask you, think about the project that you're working on as I go through these slides, okay? Remember, think about that project. If you're an analyst, if you're a systems analyst, what exactly are you doing? So let's think about some of these things. What's the essence of what you're working on? Okay, is it something that's done, that's a similar task that's done? It shouldn't be part of an integral department's regular activities. And a project, and how you actually define it, is that it does have an end date. Okay, a project has a beginning and it has an end. A project begins with a concept. Okay, that's how you start a project. It begins with a concept, a broad vision. Progressive elaboration, incremental design, and refinement. So projects, as they go along, you refine it, you look at it, you design it. Things may change in your project. Maybe you've gathered, as an analyst, you've gathered some information which you found out should change the direction of that project, should change how they build that software, or how they implement that software, or how they implement that hardware, or how they do things in human resources or accounting or finance. So those are some things that you may want to look at as you're working on a project. What is project management? Basically what it is the management of the project. It is the person who's in control. You are supervising, you are leading. Okay, you are the person who is responsible for completing the vision of that project. Okay, you are the person responsible for making sure that the goals are attained in accordance to the project plan. The knowledge areas, you need to understand integration management, scope management, time management, cost management. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about all of those things in detail. They will be different units within this course. Okay, some more knowledge areas: quality, human resources, communications, risk management, procurement management. All of these things are areas that you have to have some knowledge in, or understand how their role within the project. And again, we'll go through some of these things in detail. Okay, project, the process. How is it initiated? What is the planning? How is it going to be executed? How is it going to be controlled? How are you going to close this project? What is based on what needs to be, what is the end goal? How is this project going to close out? I've worked on projects in the past and where just when you think it's going to close, it doesn't close for some reason, but then it becomes a part of the day-to-day operations. Like you created a new piece of hardware, software, and now it's delivered to the general public or to the customers, and they're buying it right now. Now it's a full-fledged product already on the order list or already implemented in human resources. Okay, stakeholders. When we talk about stakeholders, we're talking about the people who have an interest in this project. And that's something you should think about as you're out there doing project management, or if you're a business analyst working on projects. Some of you have told me that you're consultants, and I know that means that you're there for a particular project. You're assigned to a task that has a beginning and has an end. Some of you may be there for a few months. Some of you may be on a project for an entire year. But the key thing is, as you're working on a project, who, not only the consulting firm or the company, or if you're working for a company, who has a vested interest in seeing that project completed? and why? Those are things that you should consider. Those are things that you want to understand, because it's all part of becoming more than just a project manager, but a manager who actually is the person who gives out projects and decides on what projects will be undertaken. Okay, that's the role you would like. I would hope that you all aspire to. Constraints. You have to understand, what are those constraints? What will those constraints, what will you confront? That's basically what it is. What are the things you're going to be confronted with? What about the schedule? What about the financials? What about the scope? Are those going to have some constraints? Are you going to have enough money? Are you going to have enough people? Is the time frames reasonable? Are they asking you to get this project done in 2 weeks and it really takes 2 months? So those are the things that you have to consider. What's the framework, the skeleton of the project? What's the rules, the management principles, the planning, the general guidelines? That is what a framework is. It's basically, what are the rules are going to be? What are the principles that we are going to manage this project around? How is it planned? And what are the guidelines in order to complete this project? Are there guidelines? You may be the person who needs to help set that framework, and that is done before the actual work really begins. Manager characteristics. So when I talk about project management, this is really, you are really a manager. And so when I go through these are things that if you do not have these skills, I will try and give you a little bit of insight on how you develop it. Communication skills, communicative skills. Basically, how do you communicate with people? Do you have that skill to easily communicate with people? Are you approachable? Do you understand people? Are you empathetic? Or are you egotistical, which may be a little bit of a hindrance in a project, but it could be helpful. Budget management, you have to understand the finances. You have to be able to work well with numbers. Do you have good organization skills? Can you negotiate? Because those are things you're going to have to do. Do you have good leadership skills? Because you may be leading a group of people in order to get this done. Okay? The portfolio, many responsible projects in an organization. Basically, the project portfolio, what we're saying right here is that there may be many projects within a company, and they vary from company to company. Not all the projects get selected. Not all the projects are actually done. But the decision process called the project portfolio management. That is the process, and that's really from the project management book. But the moral of the story here in terms of the project portfolio is what projects are going to be done, how are they decided on, because they're all not able to be done. Okay, so I believe that that was the last slide in this series, in this particular series on project management. Let me just let all of you know that that with regards to project management, there probably will not be a formal midterm, but there will be. You take all of the Moodle quizzes, and I will give you some tasks for you to write different papers on. So, at any rate, I'm going to close out this first session, and so you should have an opportunity to view this on Moodle. If you have any questions, I believe that some of you have you may not have my TA's email, but I will send that to you all. And in addition to that, if you have any questions, you know my email address. If you want to talk more about this topic, in this particular unit, feel free to call me or send an email again to my TA, and I will get it and I will try and answer that. So again, you can reach me at 408-466-3335, and all of you please have a wonderful rest of the day or evening. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.